promoted.
And David, there's been a couple of questions that have come through. You don't have to answer this one, but they just basically mentioned that you've mentioned on a couple of occasions how the dark days set upon you.
Yeah.
As a lot goes on at the moment around what clubs do to support players, and it sounds as though there wasn't much, if anything at all, there at the club at the moment. But I know things have changed in terms of the way that they deal with mental health of players, of staff, the whole thing. And the foundation is doing some sterling work as well at the moment. But what did you do? Where did you get that final kind of push from that helped you get through it? And the question that's been asked is, if there was one piece of advice that you could give to anybody out there that is suffering, what's the best thing they can do?
Firstly, I'm a big advocate for mental health. And look, we're talking about men's football, but it's any football, any sport, any walk of life. And it's taught to someone who you trust, or someone who you think will listen. So I was lucky when I went through, because I was a nice person and had a good rapport, like Colin Tatum. Used to go and speak to him. Just would sit there before training, chat about all sorts. His son playing, I think he's doing well now. So there was like upstairs in the office, the secretaries. I used to go and speak to Steve Spooner a lot, Paul Robinson in the back office, the two lads that did the scouting and the academy. It was all about just going in there and having a cup of tea. To them, it's like, oh, just Stocker. But I'm kind of, I can't believe this has happened. And like, look, keep going, It's me just ranting, not saying, oh, but I can't believe that. Look, Stocks, look, it is what it is. Come in here tomorrow. I'm going there tomorrow. And then you're talking about different things and you get to know a lot of people, and the physios, Hunty and Pete, and Egg, as we know him as, the masseurs, especially when we got told we weren't allowed to go into the changing room tunnel where the first team got changed. We had to use a different physio. And that's where I got to know quite a lot of the women's team. So we was using the same physio room as them, which at the time we was like, is this allowed? But it then became, we'd have a laugh. Like with the women's team, you actually got to know what they were doing. You'd actually look out for results. And then it was like, surely why are we so separated? Why isn't there some sort of crossover? And then when I was with the under-18s, that Catriane Berger trained with us, and Hannah Hampton. So that I found that really interesting. You're like, oh wow, this is good. And then we're asking questions. So what I'm trying to say is, being in and around people that that can see not what you're feeling, because they can't always see it, but when people you just say, something weren't right there. They weren't the self. Just ask them. I do it now all the time.
Yeah.
So you're okay. And a lot of people might go, sorry, I was just thinking, no, are you sure you're okay? I'd rather someone say, shut up, you idiot, than the worst that can happen. So I'm a bit like too forthright now. And people will be like, what? And I'm a bit like, no, I was making sure you're all right. So I'm hoping to do something with the lad at York Knights. He was at the rugby team while I was at York City. I got to know him well, and he's moved to the head of Menfulness. Have you heard of it?
Heard that, yeah, I've heard of it.
Yeah, so he's the head of that. He started that with his group of mates because one of their mates died, so they started a podcast, and then it's become a charity. So I'm hoping to do some work with them. I spoke to it on a Sheffield Wednesday radio about the importance of, like, I was lucky because I could go home, I was doing okay. But I was saying to people, like, it doesn't matter how much money you earn. If you're not happy, it doesn't. I'm earning hardly anything now, but I'm happy. I'm content. Like, you have to get over, it's not my time anymore. I'm happy. No money. As in, no money coming in, because I'm choosing not to work or doing licenses and uni courses, but I'm happy. So,
isn't it? Life's too short to be anything but happy.
And that's why I keep saying, like, we're all talking about football over Christmas, but Did you go to football with your loved ones?
Yeah,
Nothing better.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
And
football's just a source to do things with people you love.
yeah, absolutely. And it's my daughter's first season as a season ticket holder as well, which is just
Even better.
amazing. You know what I mean? It really is. I'm so happy that she's got into it, and
I'm glad she's got into it now,
yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly.
rather
But
than 5 years ago.
going back to mental health, though, the mind is the most powerful muscle in your body,
Yeah.
isn't it? Also, at the same time, it's the most invisible. So, like you say, it's an invisible. I'll call it illness. It is an illness. It's an invisible illness. And if you break your leg, you get so many more sympathy. So much more sympathy, don't you, than if you've got mental health problems? Because people can see.
Yeah. I'm sick and tired of people saying, "Oh, what's wrong with you? What have you got to be worried about?"
Yeah,
That's what
exactly.
they're worried about.
Yeah,
Like it could be, I don't know. I've finished a job off because it's me. Why
yeah,
have you, the amount of times, what's he got to be worried about? He's a footballer on loads of money.
yeah.
At that point, I was in the darkest time.
Not the be all and end all, is it?
I'd say, here, have the football, have the money, and I'll have the happiness, and we'll
Yeah,
see what happens then.
yeah,
Because I can always make more money, I can always play football somewhere else.
yeah.
And that's where people don't understand. And my daughter's doing a psychology assess, or whatever it is, and she's read a stat out about how many suicides and things like that, and
Mm,
especially this time of year. I wish I'd have got it now you've mentioned it because it was a good piece that she's done.
yeah.
But it's so important nowadays, and the little things, and we're finding out more and more about illnesses and ADHD, and just the inclusivity. I did a paper on EDI and safeguarding, and until you actually look into it, because I'm fortunate enough to not have any of those things, you don't really know.
Mm,
And you look into it and go, oh, wow, it makes you more educated.
yeah.
One thing I will say is educate yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm not ashamed to sit here and say I've been there. I know what it's like as well. My daughter sadly had leukemia. She went through 2.5 years of hell with it, but she's great now. But going back then, it was a dark place. And you're just thinking, why her? Why us?
Yeah.
And I was just in a world of self-pity and anger, and I had all sorts of emotions going through me for 2.5 years. But this is not about me. I'm just saying about like why I was there as well at the time. And it was really hard. But we got through it.
But again, one of them things where you were so much about it not being about you, but that point it was.
Yeah, but it
So
was my
don't take it
daughter.
away from yourself.
It was my daughter, and you give anything for it to be you instead. There, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I totally get that.
Yeah,
But going back to what you said is people are, and this is education. You said, oh, but it's not about me.
no,
Yeah, your daughter's in that situation, but look at you.
yeah, I know.
Someone could have helped you. It would have helped her.
Yeah, exactly.
When you say it's not about me, it's about the person that's suffering. So
Yeah,
whether it be you, your wife, daughter, whoever it is on this channel, if anyone, and the fact when you say I'm not ashamed, why should anybody be ashamed?
exactly. Yeah,
Ever, man, woman, child.
yeah. If no one's affected by certain things, then you're not human.